What's going on, guys? Hello. Welcome to the live stream. I do hope that you are all doing very well and that you are having a fantastic start to your summer. I feel like I need to add one more source back in there. Still getting used to the live streaming situation once more because it's been a hot minute, but I do want to get back into it. There is plenty to discuss, as always, in the world of Xbox, in the world of gaming. And what better time to go ahead and kickstart the efforts to get back into live streaming than just a couple of weeks before E3, because it's a very exciting time. We have a lot of news to break down in the weeks ahead. We have a lot to look forward to. And of course, I will be covering it all right here on Xhibition, an Xbox podcast, making videos. I just finished working on a couple just a few moments ago. More to come over the next few days as well. Specifically run around Halo and the Battle Royale genre. What I think could come of that. I think there's going to be some very interesting discussions to come out of that one. So we'll definitely stay tuned for that. But for tonight, we are going to be playing some Master Chief Collection and just kind of having a good time. I'm going to see what the engagement is on some YouTube stuff, see if you guys enjoy live streams. This is not something that was planned, predicted, nothing like that, so I'm sure that a lot of people are out of town, a lot of people are just enjoying the evening, and we'll just kind of play it by ear, see how things go. But I did get a new capture card after selling a lot of what I had a few years ago, so I wanted to, give it a shot, see what it does, see how it rolls, and yeah, just enjoy the holiday weekend. But for those that might be watching the VOD later, I do want to thank you for taking time to check it out, and I hope you enjoy the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date. Always a fantastic time, and I have been working very hard on improving the quality of the content that we're putting out here, and yeah, pretty impressed with what I've been able to do in just in a couple of weeks. You know, always trying to improve, so enjoy that. Very exciting times, though, to be into the world of gaming for sure. There we go. Sounds good. Hopefully that sounds good for you guys. Like I said, kind of playing it by ear. When it comes to the live stream audio, do not have quite the complex setup that I used to have before. In college, I used to have a huge audio mixer that was basically probably about yay big or so. It was a pretty impressive little beast that we had there. Get rid of you. It's so weird getting back into all this. Do I not have that? Hold on. I don't have one. I gotta add my AverMedia back in. Alright, we're looking good. There we go. And this is what we call ironing out the kinks. This is what we call ironing out the kinks, for sure. I think I might need to quit Halo and get back into it. It has been a hot minute since I played, so I'm sure there's plenty to update on. Not connected to Xbox Live. Okay, alright. I was getting ready to say, I should be. I need to be. Apparently there are 169 days left until the Halo Infinite launch. I'll believe that when I see it. Oh, come on, man. No, not like this. In terms of E3, though, we'll go ahead and kickstart the discussions. I was going to wait for a couple of more people to jump in, but let's go ahead and start talking about what is to come, because I think that we're going to have a very exciting show on our hands between Bethesda plans, between Halo Infinite, and between a lot of Forza Horizon rumors. That's all I really need from an E3 2021 event from Microsoft. But the big question that a lot of people are asking here is, when are we seeing Starfield? We discussed it on the most recent episode of Xhibition. There we go. We discussed it there with Chris Shriver, but I personally don't think Starfield is going to be coming until 2022, and then there's probably going to be a Elder Scrolls game in 2023. I am streaming from the Series X, man. Yeah, I've been wanting to get back into capturing some more gameplay for the channel to kind of get away from just doing talking head style videos. So I thought, hey, why not go ahead and throw it on the Series X and see what happens. But yeah, this is straight from the Series X. No finagling with the capture card. This is just raw captured gameplay footage in 1440p right now. I think I'm streaming in 1080. Because, let me tell you, I got that apartment internet. A lot of people out here with business internet, not on that level. I could play it on the PC as well. My PC can run it, obviously. These are not beefy games by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, Halo 3 is a game from, what, 2007? Yo, Alan, what's going on, man? What's poppin', dude? You still rocking that Rainbow Six life? Tachanka remains. It is 2021 and Tachanka's still living. Come on, baby. Not like this. Okay. Thriving, surviving. Sweet. Thanks, man. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I was on the fence about it because I want to throw some more live content up here on the channel since I'm migrating back to more of the, you know, just me making videos, hanging out, having a good time, that kind of thing. So I wanted to start capturing some stuff, especially since I'm starting to get codes from publishers and developers now. It would be nice to be able to not have to worry about playing on PC to capture anything. I would much rather earn achievements while I play. Definitely a big achievement guy. Oh. Oh, I thought I got him. There we go. Thought I didn't miss streaming? I don't on a regular basis. Let me put it like that. Because now, you know, I've got a girlfriend, I got an apartment, full-time job. It's a lot to handle when it comes to keeping a live streaming schedule and all that. Ooh. Killing spree. But I just really want to shake up what I do. It's been very routine and repetitive. And that was what I wanted it to be, so I guess I succeeded in that, but now I'm kind of ready to go back to just being a dude who likes games on the internet. I think that's really what I'm trying to do here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I applied to get them, which, like, that's kind of how the industry works. You apply to get the codes, and, ooh, somebody stop me. You apply to get the codes, and then they send them to you in emails and stuff. But, like, I got one last week for Grindstone on PC, which I was very much so looking forward to. And, yeah, so I've been getting more of that kind of stuff, so I figured, hey, you know, it's time to get some gameplay footage recorded. If we're gonna do this, let's do this. Now, I definitely miss the community portion of streaming, and it's just very different, I think is what it really comes down to. It's a very different kind of content creation.
5 minutes remaining.
I will say that I think that I perform my best in terms of, like, what I make. Oh, I don't have any ammo. I think that I perform my best whenever it's just me, like, talking to a camera. But, you know, snatch that Halo Infinite review code. That's the deal about Game Pass, though, is that even though it might not be ahead of everyone else, Game Pass kind of eliminates the need for any kind of review codes because I'll have Halo Infinite either way, you know? That's what's weird about it. Shit. Just been vibing, enjoying summer. Junior in college now, starting to feel old and shit. Oh, well, you just wait, son. You just wait. Whenever I hear, you know, like there was a TikTok a couple of days ago where
Double kill. Triple kill. Game.
there was a kid that was like 6 years old and he was born in 2015, and I'm like, 2015? What do you mean 2015? You know, like, how is that even possible? I don't like that at all. And so whenever you hear that kind of thing, it's like, ugh, I'm feeling old. But what else is new with you guys? How's stuff going, you know? Roy, I know you graduated. Congratulations on that one. I hope you continue to thrive and prosper. But, man, I miss having summer breaks. This is really, I wouldn't say this is the first one. I wouldn't say that, I don't know why that got held for review. I wouldn't say this is the first summer that I have not had any kind of summer break, but it still hasn't really, sorry, there's a pillow by my feet that keeps my feet warm while the fan keeps me cool. But this is not my first summer that is without a break, but it still feels like something where I should be getting a break, so I'm trying to, you know, trying to get used to that whole adult thing. It's kind of gross. Yeah, Shrek being 20 years old is just absolutely ridiculous. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? Just to think that that is something that, you know, 2 decades has passed since Shrek came out. We're on 20 years of Xbox, 20 years of Halo. You know, what? Wow, that average view duration on the most recent podcast is nuts. Average view duration, obviously 54 views, you know, like, we're not talking millions, but average view duration is 15 minutes? That's awesome. Holy shit. I love the fact that people are loving this podcast. Like, that is awesome, you know? It's just good to be able to switch things up and see it getting success. That's, oof. Man, that feels good. Love seeing it. You love to see it. Taking summer classes, if they don't start in a month, nice. Yeah, enjoy the summer, man. Like I said, I wish that I was able to go back and really... I didn't enjoy my summers to the fullest in college, which I guess, you know, you don't know what you got till it's gone, that kind of thing. But definitely take time to spend time with friends and family and whatnot. I'm going to die. Ooh, didn't die. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. People like the content, man. People do like the content. Holy shit. He's right there. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the kind words, guys. You know, it's been really nice over the past few weeks to break out of the mold, because I was doing the Jam Pack Report daily for a little over 3 years. And, you know, some videos got a lot of views. You know, some videos were like standout hits as compared to the rest of them. But, you know, you get into this creative rut in a way. But you get into a creative rut where it becomes easy, but, you know, the good things in life aren't always easy. You shouldn't always take the easy way out. And it feels good to be able to kind of switch things up. And, like, I have a video coming out tomorrow that's kind of a talking head video where I just talk about Battle Royale and Halo Infinite and why I think that's a really good idea. So that should be dropping tomorrow. I just recorded it before I started making this. But just these little one-off videos, it's just really exciting to be getting back to the roots, because now I'm kind of approaching it in the same way that I did when I was in high school, where it's all just me making videos talking about things that I'm passionate about. That feels good. College life for me is pretty tame. No going out to party or drinking or anything. I've just been vibing. Nice, dude. I will say I didn't drink. I mean, I drank in college. I didn't drink often. And so I think that was something that I definitely don't regret, not really drinking a lot and partying hard. I think that it saved me a lot of pain, as in headaches. But it was nice. I had fun, but I was responsible with it. There were several times though I just got straight plastered, you know. I think that if anyone goes to college and they don't at least have one good drunk story, you're not doing it right. You know, get one good one, do it responsibly with friends, call Ubers. Like mine was at a football game a couple of times, that kind of thing. But yeah, you know, nothing wrong with taking it easy, man. That's just like right now. If I'm drinking, it's probably just a couple of bottles of wine with the girl at home. What I'm saying is I'm old. I'm now old. That's what I'm trying to get across. I live the life of a 55-year-old man. I'm trying to think of what else is new. I re-signed the lease on my apartment, so I'm not having to move this summer. That feels great. Because moving's a pain. Shit. Okay, alright, we're good. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, true. COVID has not helped in the slightest. COVID has been rough. That should have not happened. That should have not happened. Oh, I should have fired the rocket. And I think that the cool thing about college is that you don't have to like fit a mold necessarily, you know what I mean? You can do whatever you want to in college. If you want to be a nerd who just goes to the library, hey, live it up. If you want to be a hardcore frat bro, live it up, man. You do you. But no one is required to do anything they don't want to do. Perfect. Sounds great. Hope they can get that. Now, COVID was rough across the board. I could not imagine having, well, it was a little bit different for me because I lived at home during college. So, effectively, my life probably wouldn't have changed all that much. But for people that are like paying out the ass to go to a public school or even to a private college,
5 minutes
and you know, really, when it comes down to college, half of what you're paying for is that college experience. You're paying for the ability to go out and meet people and hone in on your social life, that kind of stuff. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Big bucks, no whammies. I just feel like there should have at least been some kind of reduction in tuition or some kind of deal that was given to those that were stuck, you know. Like, what fun is it to just hang out in your dorm all the time, not by choice? He thought he could do that. He thought he could pull a fast one on your boy. Nice. Huh, light fell. Neat. Love good magnets, don't you? Yeah, so my mask mandate is dropped as well. Charlotte has nothing anymore. Which I'm fully vaccinated, you know, so I don't really have that much to worry about. I still wear it just because I don't want to make other people uncomfortable, you know, like if they're not feeling the, if somebody still has to wear a mask or wants to wear a mask, then I don't want to be the reason that they feel weird about it, you know. I would love, thank you. Plus, you know, you're not fully out of the woods if you are vaccinated. You still got to be careful. It's still very important to be careful. I guess I still need to get vaccinated, yeah. And you know, like, the way that I see it, at this stage of the game, it's important to get vaccinated to, you know, protect each other, but at the same time, everybody's got a choice that they want to make if they want to participate, you know? I'm not going to force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. I've gotten vaccinated, I've done my part, you know? And that's all I can do, because that's where I, you know, sit with it. I know my family is has all gotten vaccinated. We're good to go. It's just a really good peace of mind, you know? It just feels good to know that if I go out to a concert or something and I'm not wearing a mask, that, like, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Like, if there was an event that I wanted to go to, I'm good. Second shot in a month, nice. I would love to hit a point in the next couple of years where I get to go to an E3 and, like, officially go to an E3. Oh man, that'd be fun. I don't know how we won that. I feel like I did not do that well that game. But it's just nice to see that events are starting to kind of come back online and that events are beginning to become a norm again. Like, obviously, this year's E3 is still going to be virtual, but I think next year's E3 is probably going to be in person. So to be able to have that kind of event again, I'm trying to think of anything that I've gone to recently that is a big event. Nothing really comes to mind as it stands right now that was like a huge overarching event. But I'm looking forward to going back to, like, football games in the fall. That's going to be great. Really excited to do that. 2020 was going to be, like, my year that I went to go do stuff. PAX was something that I was considering. I would love to go to a PAX East or even PAX South, but to be able to even just go to local conventions and stuff and just meet people, I miss doing that. And especially towards the, you know, that peak of COVID, that was when things were getting to where a lot of people were wondering if there was going to be any kind of event for the rest of the year. But on top of that, just locally, you know, going to the store felt weird. And really leaving my apartment, it felt kind of it was almost like, you guys might not relate to this, but there was what was it called? I think it was just Spider-Man, but there was a Spider-Man game that came out on the PlayStation 1 where you just swung through the city and there was like this fog on the streets below. And so that's how COVID felt, where there's just this fog that's hanging around on the streets below us, and there's nothing that we can really do. It's just kind of there. And so when you go outside, you're probably going to die in the fog. That's how the first chunk of COVID felt. Also, do you guys like the music? Do you want it gone? Trying to feel the vibe. I'm not sure how I'm feeling it. Spider-Man 2000, I see, is the nickname for it. Okay. Yeah, I think I still have a copy of that actually on my TV stand. I'm pretty sure that it's still part of my setup in there. Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, Microsoft, I think they did their own E3 thing last year, but this year it's going to be a Microsoft Bethesda cross-press conference on June 13th, which is coming up very quickly. I will be out of town for it. I will actually be away from keyboard during that event, so I'll have to recap it. I might find time to watch it during the day, but I'm not going to bust my hump over it. You know, I'll see it when I see it. I'm not that worried about it. Shit. Watching a wrestling PPV that's live in Florida right now, and it's crazy seeing a full crowd cheering, reacting in person. I remember how weird it felt whenever COVID first kicked off and there were no crowds, and how strange it felt to watch a wrestling event without a crowd. Now, the script has like flipped, where it feels so weird to see people. Oh man, he just yeeted himself off that cliff. Okay. Yeah, the one Activision made, that is a Spider-Man game. That was the one. Nice. I will look forward to seeing how this year's E3 goes, because as it stands right now, how did that not kill him? As it stands right now, E3 is starting to get back on track. Obviously, last year's event got canceled in full because they couldn't pull together something within that tight time frame. But as we're looking forward to 2022 and 2023, this year is going to be kind of the defining year that really lets us know if E3 is going to be a major part of the industry or not. Because we don't really need E3 anymore, but it's still very important to have some kind of unifying event. I mean, you look at what Jeff Grubb has with the Summer Game Fest situation, and he's got the Summer Game Mess for a reason, because it's not organized. It's a, you know, it's a cluster of people that are trying to create their own event, but in reality, each event is independent. It's just nice to have it within one unified week. Like, don't get me wrong, it's all very exciting. Ooh, that was good, that was good. It's all very exciting, but it would be very nice to have everything condensed down into one single week of hype. Holy shit, I could have reloaded. Destroy All Humans 2 reveal? You mean a remaster from THQ Nordic? Who did the remaster? I know it was published by THQ, but I don't know if they developed it. He's above me. Damn. I feel like the next Elder Scrolls is so far off. I'm betting 2023 at the earliest for the next Elder Scrolls. I think you might see information, maybe. It just doesn't make sense for me to see Bethesda... Like, why reveal anything so early on, depending on how, like, Starfield's coming, then I'm betting in Elder Scrolls, then I'm thinking of Fallout, unless there's some kind of new project that they want to work on. You know, whatever that looks like. I think that would make sense. But I don't think they need to muddy the waters too much and have so much going on at one time that it feels like there's too much, because effectively, you know, they should probably focus on just one or two games at a time, which, you know, I guess.
5 minutes remaining.
Let's go. That felt good. I don't like having a shotgun and an energy sword, but I'm going to play it anyway. Oh, that was so good. Unfortunately, I'm technically in the majority of this Windows, because Windows, the only games I've been deeply into are the Forza games. For sure. Wait, so technically in the majority of this because Windows? What do you mean? Also, man, also welcome to the stream. Do you think there'll be a subtitle, though? I don't know that Elder Scrolls needs a subtitle. I mean, I guess, yeah. Now I know what you're saying. There's like the areas, so like Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Morrowind, that kind of thing. There was some kind of big fan theory where somebody analyzed something, right? Where they picked out what continent it was or something like that. I think it would be a very good idea to do some kind of... I think it would be a good idea to do some kind of Fallout remaster, but I'm at a weird spot with Fallout. I feel personally like it would be cool to see a reboot in the style of Resident Evil 2 or 3 with the original Fallout, where it was a completely different style of game, but something that is kicking it back to the basics, a good entry point for players. I mean, obviously, you can enter Fallout pretty much from anywhere in the time span, but it would be nice to see something that's much more accessible for people. Oh, I see. I mean, I'm excited about the fact that the crossplay has become such a big part of what Xbox is bringing to the table, because effectively, like, you, somebody who plays on Windows primarily, if I'm tracking correctly, you effectively have an Xbox. You don't need anything else. And on top of that, you're getting very well optimized PC games. It's not like, with the next Bethesda game, it's going to be optimized specifically for Xbox. It's going to play well regardless of where you are. And for people with beefy PCs, that's a great benefit. So to be able to have that at your disposal, especially, do you subscribe to Game Pass? Like, Game Pass Ultimate is great for me because I play a lot of stuff at work on my tablet. I bring one of these controllers to work and I just rock with it, It's good stuff. Yeah, I think that's what it needs to be. Whenever you look at what a Fallout remaster should really bring to the table, it should be something that keeps the spirit of those original games out. I think that's one of the biggest benefits that it could really bring, is to show people the original while also modernizing the experience. They really need to update this engine, and I know that Starfield is running on an updated version of their original engine, but I need to know how updated that is, because we got to get rid of this Bethesda jank situation. There's a whole conversation every time a Bethesda game comes out around the jank that the game brings to bear, and it's like, it would be nice to have a very premium feeling Elder Scrolls experience ship.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Love mowing them down. But yeah, Game Pass Ultimate, if you have that, even on PC, it's a very worthwhile experience. The whole thing about Xbox's approach is that they're trying to provide so much value that Xbox becomes your go-to entertainment no matter what platform you're playing on. The convenience is what wins you over. And for me, it has completely and totally dominated in that regard. Because, like, I'm excited to see what PlayStation brings, obviously. Like, PlayStation is very talented in everything that they do. Shit! Oh my god. Yeah, totally. Yeah, Wesley's right on the money there. Bethesda has had that jank for a very long time. But, yeah, Xbox just has this ecosystem that I am completely infatuated with. And I saw on, I was listening to the Kinda Funny Xcast earlier today, and they had Miles, I think is his name, from Windows Central Gaming, who was talking about a potential Xbox handheld. Not that anybody's heard anything, but they were just talking about hopes and dreams. Xbox doesn't need a handheld. Damn. Xbox doesn't need a handheld because every phone and every tablet is a handheld. And so I think that's a big benefit for them too. Oh, they're making a huge comeback, dude. I think you know that Xbox is making a comeback whenever I, who grew up on PlayStation, in like, I was very dedicated to the PlayStation brand. Like, we were a PlayStation house. My mom was very averse to getting me an Xbox whenever I asked for one. And now, like, I want a PlayStation 5 at some point in the future, but I can wait a few years. I don't feel compelled to get one. I feel like Xbox is the best place to play third-party stuff. And really what PlayStation brings and offers is what they've always brought. They have really, really good first-party games, but they'll always be really, really good. I don't need to play them on day one to experience a really, really good Xbox or PlayStation game. Oh, come on, dude. I'm going up.
Tie the leader. Gain the lead.
I'm rocking with it. I don't know how I did that, but I'm rocking with it. But Bethesda definitely has a lot to iron out there. I just want them, and they need to be the peak experience. They need to be a very, very polished studio because Microsoft has a lot riding on them. Not to say that their games won't sell. It's not a matter of revenue. It's a matter of having a very well-made, well-polished set of games to offer Xbox players and to entice other people to come into the ecosystem. That's what the threat is from Bethesda not polishing well. Yeah, true. Zune and Windows phones. RIP to the Windows phone. But yeah, I just don't know if the portable market is really something that Microsoft needs to compete with. A lot of people have been discussing this potential partnership with Nintendo, and I think that makes more sense to bring Xbox to Nintendo, because why would they...
5 minutes remaining.
The way that I see this is, why would Microsoft try to compete with Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch whenever they're not going to come anywhere close to the numbers that Nintendo is doing for the Switch? Like, those sales metrics are completely and totally unique to what Nintendo is bringing. And so why, compete with that when we've seen what streaming is capable of on the Nintendo Switch? We've seen it through games like Control that have had streaming experiences that were created specifically for those games to be able to run on the Switch. So take that same technology and innovate just a little bit, to polish it up to make sure that it works and runs well. But you effectively already have everything you need to make Game Pass a success on the Switch. Yeah, xCloud on mobile is good. I think that the browser compatibility is big because now it opens it up to iOS devices and it plays very well. I'm waiting for them to update those server blades to where it is something that isn't an Xbox One version of the game. Because right now, as it stands, you're getting Xbox One games when you play on the streaming devices. From my knowledge, that's what I've gathered. And a lot of people have been discussing the potential for some kind of Surface style device. Okay. Some kind of Surface style device that is an Xbox device. And I think that's something that you could probably potentially see. But do they need to bring one? I just don't know if they really, I don't know if that's a necessity. Like I said, I've got my iPhone right here, and I've got Game Pass booted up on it, ready to go. I'll pull it up. I have a whole folder. See, I'll bring it a little bit closer. I think this is the right scene. Yeah. So I have 3 Xbox, you can't see it because of the focus, but I have 3 Xbox apps there on my iPhone that are ready to rock. And whenever I need to, just hang out for a hot minute, I can boot up cloud gaming on my iOS device. I have all these touch-compatible games like Minecraft Dungeons that are ready to rock, ready to roll. And whenever you have that kind of accessibility, that's whenever you have something special. And for me to have to carry around even something like I think it's called Backbone or a Razer Kishi, one of these controller accessories, that's pretty accessible. But it's still kind of an inconvenience. I like to be able to just tap into any kind of game on the go without needing a lot of extra stuff. And so I'm not somebody who's going to take a Nintendo Switch with me whenever I go somewhere or to work or anything like that. Oh, hell yeah, Halo 4, let's go. Yo, have fun looking at Unreal Engine, man. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your Memorial Day weekend. I appreciate you checking out the stream. Good to see you. Did they add something here? Oh, this is the remastered mode. Okay, we're good. I'll take what I can get. But I definitely, I can see them going that route. It's just very important to get the messaging right. I think that's what it really is. Because Sony fanboys and people that are just critical of Microsoft in general, they'll take whatever they can get when it comes to dogging somebody out. A lot of people have it out for Microsoft and for Xbox as a brand. And so to be able to nail this messaging and say, this is the experience, that was horrible, this is the experience you're going to be getting from Xbox, is very important. I just worry if they focus too heavily on bringing some kind of mobile device to market, that you could see a repeat of what happened with Don Matrick and the, why do I keep getting a Spartan laser? Can somebody explain that to me? You might see a repeat of what happened with Don Matrick in the TV situation, where Xbox TV became such a big part of their messaging that it took away from what Xbox One really had to offer. I was trying. Yeah, exactly. And that's incredibly valuable. To be able to just take your tablet or your iPhone or your Android device with you wherever you are is a big benefit, and they should absolutely, you know, they should talk about that and they should showcase that capability. But a device that, you know, takes full advantage of that and that's optimized for that kind of experience would be neat. I will say, Alan, that I have been using xCloud on PCs. I've been using it on my work laptop, and while it's not quite the experience you would get from a gaming PC, it's pretty tight. So to be able to log into the browser is very nice. But I totally understand what you're saying. I would much rather, like, if I'm playing for long, extended periods of time, that's whenever you see the value of a truly dedicated gaming device come into play. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Yeah, gaming on the go in the early 2000s, early 10s, the only way was a laptop. If you wanted the full experience, for sure. You know, I'm thinking about stuff like PSPs and whatnot that did bring some kind of experience to the table. But if you're looking for those full experiences, yeah, those did not come around until you saw the laptops. Yeah, the hotel TVs are rough because you know that they're all 720p joints. They're not anything to write home about. And so to be able to tune in and play Xbox with something as simple as a tablet, and even an older tablet at that, brings a lot. The traveling aspect of it is great, but I can say firsthand that xCloud has allowed me to play more games than ever before because of the accessibility, because of how much I can actually play at work. You know, like during a lunch break or during whenever I've got some downtime, I can just boot up any Edge browser and play right then and there. I've been playing Spartan Assault a lot at work. It does not work well with games like Halo. I think it works okay, but it does not work well. Yeah, the convenience of xCloud is huge. Ah! I was going for that snapshot. I think the other element here to consider is the pricing of what we're talking about. You know, if you're talking about on-the-go cloud gaming, then effectively what you need is some kind of streaming experience. And so if we're talking about the world of Xbox, you just need a $15 per month or $1 for 3 months as it stands right now, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. And so versus, you know, again, there's a bit of a trade-off depending on what you are wanting from your gameplay experience. But if you're cool with just something that helps you enjoy some games when you have some downtime, no. Shit. Ah. I tried. If you're willing to trade off a bit of quality because of the current technology, then it's $15 a month versus a couple of $1,000s for a good gaming PC. And for me, that price trade-off is totally worth it. And that quality trade-off is totally worth it for the price. Luna and Stadia just, The infrastructure is good for Luna and Stadia, but I made that video last week talking about Amazon Luna. It's just, you see these tech giants that come in and there's no real strategy. There's no real plan with what they're trying to do. They have the technology to support and the funds to support a game subscription service. But at the same time, you see, I'm gonna pause this or turn this down. Actually, hold on. That's how I do it over here. They have the funds and they have the technology to support a game streaming service, but they don't have the overall plan to really bring it to market and give it the attention that it deserves. It's more so just another source of revenue versus an actual passion. Like, they need to be able to say, we are a gaming company. Amazon is not a gaming company. They're a tech company, and they use technology to optimize the way that they manufacture goods, the way that they send and ship stuff to people. They use AI and technology to make that happen. Microsoft is also a technology company, but they also have gaming at their heart when it comes to Xbox. That's very important when it comes to differentiating these streaming services, because that's what's going to really bring something worthwhile in the long run. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh, come on, man. That should have been a headshot. Yeah, I mean that's not a bad option.
Gain the lead.
I think that right now you're coming up on what I consider to be it's a very important time to make a decision, because you can upgrade to a next generation console and you can have a fantastic experience. But at the same time, if you're not somebody who's deeply invested in getting the newest games and that is wanting to get the cutting edge, latest of everything that the gaming industry has to offer, then that's when you can really get a lot of bang for your buck by buying a last generation console right now. Because if you went and you bought an Xbox One X right now, or even a One S if you wanted to really go budget, you effectively have a fantastic piece of hardware that still has plenty of Game Pass games. And you have a machine that can play games like Warzone. You have a machine that can play games like Halo Infinite when that launches. You have a piece of hardware that can play games really, really well. And, you know, I'm thinking about the PlayStation specifically, but for PlayStation, you know, you've got an entire generation of very well-respected games that are just waiting for you. You don't have to wait for release dates. You don't have to wait for announcements. You've just got a ton of really solid experiences that are ready to go. That's crazy to me, you know? That's very exciting. Oh my god. What am I at? I'm at the bottom of the barrel. I've gotten one kill. Oh yeah, the Xbox One S and the X still hold up. I adore the Xbox One X. That is one of the most elegant pieces of hardware. It just like, it plays very well, and it was the most powerful last generation console, but man, is that a good looking piece of hardware. Fat model Xbox One. Ah, very nice. The fat model Xbox One, it just was not a good looking, it was not a good looking device. I liked it when it first came out, but I think that it, you know, between the plastic veneer kind of situation that you had going on where it looked very bad very quickly, that wasn't a good look. Now, PlayStation had that as well. Very important to remember these launch day consoles from 2013. But the plastic, and I think I read that the PlayStation 5 still has that kind of material on that middle part of it. But oh damn. But it just looks very scratched, very old, very quickly. And so the Xbox One half of it looked horrible within the first 2 months of you actually using the device. That was a big bummer. And of course, it was very, very weak when it comes to power. Oh shit, where did he come from? I mean, I remember whenever the comparisons were coming out, you think that, you know, we're talking about upscaled 4K versus native 4K now, which effectively, I personally can't tell a difference. And the majority of players still aren't playing on 4K monitors, so it doesn't really even matter. But whenever the Xbox One first hit, you're looking at comparisons of 900p versus 1080p, and sometimes even lower than that. You know, you're talking about upscaled 720 versus something that's closer to 1080 on some of these higher end games. That's just not a great look for Microsoft. They really did not do well in that regard. Or at least they could have done way better.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Ah, I was going in for the hammer slam. Yeah, definitely. I think that building a PC is not a bad idea because of how multi-platform Sony seems to be going as well. I think that PC is going to be a very good location to be in the years ahead. It just depends on the kind of experience you want. And you can plug in a controller and you can have a PC and you can get a wonderful experience. It really just depends on, again, your personal preference. For me, I like having a console. And for the kind of games that I play and for the kind of experience that I'm wanting to have, a console is the more affordable option for me. I'll go all out. If I'm building a PC, I'm going to get like a super, super powerful PC that I have to save up for, you know, over a few years. Or that's how I was in college. I could probably build one a little bit faster now. But I would much rather just get something where I know that developers are going to target and build for Xboxes and PlayStations. And so I know that I'll get what they consider to be a good experience on there. But yeah, PCs are definitely the way to go if you're looking for something that you can customize deeply, and it's definitely worth it. That fat Xbox was rough, dude. That fat Xbox, I remember playing, I believe it was Far Cry 4 on it, and that was an experience. That really turned me off for Xbox. Although Far Cry 4, you know, for what it was not bad. It could have been worse. I enjoyed it personally. The narrative was definitely weak, but it was a good-looking game. It just ran so horribly on that original Xbox One. And then I was talking to Chris on the podcast last week about... I was talking to him about the launch of the Master Chief Collection. Do you guys remember the launch of the Master Chief Collection? Because when the Master Chief Collection launched, the server and networking setup was so horrible. It was almost impossible to really even connect to a game. To see that game make the comeback that it has made in the past few years is award-worthy, because I'm still playing classic Halo games, and now there are people that are populating matches for a game that is very, very old. That's very important, especially when it comes to the backward compatibility, you know, stuff that Microsoft is presenting, and the importance that previous generations of consoles provide. Right now, we're in a space where the Xbox Series X and S, the first party is lacking on it in a very, very big way. And it's very important to have this backward compatibility ready to go so that you can have something to play. And it's important to improve those games. That's what you see with FPS boost, and that's what you see with auto HDR. It's those kind of experiences that are adding value to this backwards compatibility. But then you have stuff like the Master Chief Collection that continues to add value through a different route that's still kind of similar. To be able to add wider field of views and to keep these servers populated is a major key. And so I think that all of this comes together to present that.
Eliminate the enemy team.
I thought my headset had been active in game for this entire stream, and I was going to feel really bad for every single person that I was playing with. Man, this... So how do you guys feel about Halo 4? Because it's a very divisive game, and I recognize that. But if I'm being honest with you, if Halo Infinite feels even remotely as good as Halo 4, I'll be satisfied. This game is so good to me. The more that I've gotten into the Halo community, the more that it's been amazing to see the divisiveness between people that enjoy Halo Infinite and the people that don't. Or I'm sorry, the people that enjoy Halo 4 and 5 and the people that don't. Dang. Shit. Ah, I tried so hard. But there's something about Halo 4, and I'm not talking about the narrative of Halo 4 and 5. The campaign is its own separate entity in my mind. But I think it's very well built, well designed. The gameplay itself feels very tight, especially when it comes to the power weapons, and there's also a very good balance of power weapons in Halo 4 specifically. Halo 5 could have done a whole lot better. Damn. Well, Xbox One at first looked like a cable box, but on top of that, it was also effectively marketed as a cable box. I mean, you had the Xbox TV compatibility where you did just route your cable into it. And I did that for a hot minute. I was using my Xbox as my cable box, and it's just stupid. I think that there was an idea there, and it was just poorly executed on. I think that's what it really comes down to. Yo, Alan, have a good one, man. And also, happy birthday to the old man. That's awesome stuff. Oh, nice. I also duck with Halo 4 for sure. But hey, man, thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. I appreciate you stopping by the stream. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, that whole Don Matrix situation was just a horribly planned, horribly executed iteration of an Xbox console. And it could not have been at a worse time because Microsoft was falling behind Sony in so many ways. And it was very important that they got that messaging right at that E3. And they just didn't in any way, especially when it came to the game sharing stuff. Oh, you know. It's that kind of experience that ruined that first 3/4 of the generation for Microsoft. Yo, what's going on, Nick? Why not on Twitch? Trying out some YouTube stuff. I'm trying to make this into more of a, thinking about doing some like schedule. Ooh. Trying to make some more like schedule kind of stuff going on. Maybe like every Sunday or so. Just experimenting, trying things out. I got a new AverMedia capture card today, so I'm giving it a shot. So what was the TV element of the Xbox 360? Because I never even messed with that. And maybe that could have contributed to the move to try that for this generation. You know, if it was a successful TV operation there. Because back whenever I was on the Xbox 360, I was mainly just playing games like your Call of Duties and your Battlefields and stuff like that. Dang. I'm also interested in the potential for a streaming box, or a streaming stick, I should say, for Xbox. I think that Game Pass could benefit from that Fire Stick kind of setup, where a lot of people might not want to pay $300 to $500 for a new gaming console, depending on what they want and what their TV setup is, but they could be willing to pay for a Game Pass, and they could be willing to pay for a $50 streaming stick that maybe has a bit of a beefier chip in it, something like an Amazon 4K Fire TV that's about $50 or so. I think that's where you could really see some big value and some big pushes. Shit. Let's go, man.
Kills to win.
Oh. Oh, there we go.
Next kill wins.
Let's go. End it with an assassination.
Victory.
I'm surprised that's not an achievement, actually. Oh, a bunch of apps that required a cable provider. So it's similar to what happens now with like TLC and stuff like that. I think that there is a HBO. Yeah, HBO also does it because if you have HBO bundled in with your subscription, then you get HBO Max for free since it's effectively the same service. Oh yeah, no worries, man. See ya. 360 was a DVD player that only outputs 480p, whereas streaming in 1080p. Oh, yes, true, true. Yeah, I don't think I ever watched DVDs on the Xbox 360, but I don't remember that being as overbearing of an issue because the first half of the generation, Microsoft lost very deeply to Sony. Or I'm sorry, excuse me, Sony lost very deeply to Microsoft. The Xbox 360 dominated the mindshare for the first chunk of that generation, and PlayStation 3 started to make up for it later on, but Blu-ray didn't really turn it around for them. I do know that in the same way that PlayStation 2 was very popular because it was a DVD player, that the PlayStation 3 became pretty popular because it was also a Blu-ray player. Now, the PlayStation 2 was effectively the same price as many of the newest DVD players, and on top of that, it could play games. So that was really important. Whereas on the PlayStation 3, it was way more expensive than the majority of Blu-ray players, and it happened to play games, but it was still way more expensive, so you were getting more bang for your buck. I think that's very important to, consider as well. But those streaming services are very important. Now it's kind of the expectation. Like if my Xbox Series X didn't do Netflix or HBO Max or any of that stuff, I would probably be a little bit more disappointed with it. But it is effectively my go-to streaming experience box. Oh. Nice. Man, Halo 2 Anniversary plays so well. It's just such a good feeling game. Ooh, DVD for the first time as a kid on the original Xbox. Back then you had to buy a separate kit with a remote just to play them. That's insane. But see, it's that kind of stuff that I love to see the evolution of technology. Like, that's where I become just a huge ass nerd, you know? I love to see how people continue to build greater stuff, build better experiences. And to see how far technology has come. Oh, hello. To see how far technology has come in such a relatively short amount of time. I mean, I know that it's been 20 years, but at the same time,
Snapshot.
it's still very impressive. So, at what age were you whenever you were getting into the whole Xbox ecosystem? Because for me, I grew up as a PlayStation guy, and then I started playing in Xbox 360. But I was also very into PlayStation 3. Now, I switched over to Xbox One X as my main console towards the end of the last generation. And now I'm full in on the Series X life. I was 9. See, those are the best memories. I think a lot about that kind of experience, especially now as an adult. Yeah, having both is a really nice setup. I know for me, it's always, not that I want to be dedicated to a specific brand, but I like to, I don't know, I think there's a tribalism with everybody. Like, I like to know that I have a respect for and a love for PlayStation, but I also have a really deep dedication to Xbox in this generation. Like, if I were to take bets on who I think is going to be the winner, if there is one, like, I like to be able to pull for a team. But even then, like, it's all about just having fun, you know? I feel like that's what so many people forget, is that, you know, when it comes to that kind of competition, it's all just about having cool games, having good times with friends, that kind of stuff. And that sounds cheesy as shit, but it's true. They were getting games from Dreamcast, you mean like ports and stuff? Yeah, I feel like my parents just had gotten into PlayStation for some reason. Like, I don't know if there was really a definitive reason for it. I feel like they just kind of picked a brand and went with it. And then there was a dedication to that brand over time. I feel like that's what it ended up being. Nice. It's just funny how, like, the gaming habits that you pick up over time are just shaped by what you have access to as a kid. I'm sure so many people, you know, whenever they were just breaking into Nintendo and it was becoming the popular system to go to, that was such a defining factor that I'm sure has created a lot of Switch players in today's day and age. Like, there's just that dedication to the brand. There's just that dedication to the company. Oh, man. Come on. To think that Xbox was getting canceled Dreamcast games. See, I would love... Do you have, like, a link to learn more about that kind of stuff? Like, any kind of videos? Because that's the kind of lore, the kind of history. I say lore because I have Elder Scrolls on the mind. But that's the kind of history that I love to hear more about. I would love to see a no-clip documentary on that kind of stuff.
Next kill.
More of a Sega thing. There's so much interesting history there. Like, when it comes to gaming history, I feel like Sega is a very interesting company to kind of follow and track and learn more about. I'm interested to see what the future of Sega looks like. Obviously, there's the big Sonic event that was held last week with a lot of new Sonic content coming, and they're doing a lot of movies and things like that. It's just really interesting to see them continuing to have a lot of mind share in 2021 and beyond, assuming. They've just continued to chunk along, and I feel like Sega also got into a lot of the pachinko machine game. I think I'm thinking about the same group. Yeah, Sega's definitely making a comeback with some franchises. I feel like they're going to have a lot to show at E3. I'm pretty excited to see what they end up coming out with. But plenty of exciting, number one, content coming from them, but number two, opportunity. I think that's the biggest thing. There's a lot of opportunity to see where they continue to, focus their efforts, and I think there's a lot of potential there. I'm going to go grab some batteries. I will be back in just a moment. But thank you for hanging around. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. Okay, let's get back into it, shall we? I'll probably play a couple of more rounds before jumping off for the night. Have a Memorial Day to prepare for tomorrow. I've got a couple of things to start editing. I should have a video out tomorrow, and I think I'm going to have one out on Tuesday as well for the drop. But yeah, tons of potential here. Obviously, Sega with a lot. You've got a lot coming from Microsoft. In terms of the rest of the summer, we've got Summer Game Fest, E3, IGN's event. I think it's called IGN Expo. It's coming out on the 12th, if I remember correctly, but a lot of big news coming out in the next couple of weeks. A lot of potential for some pretty big announcements for the rest of the summer as well.
Infinity Slayer. Eliminate the enemy team.
Oh man, I tried. I thought about it. I really did. I have no grenades. Oh, this is a beam rifle. Hell yeah. For some reason, I thought that was a storm rifle. So what kind of remasters are we looking for? You know, remasters are a basic part of the gaming industry these days. I'm trying to pick out of my mind and maybe even make a video on the remasters that we all really want to see. I think that would be an exciting kind of slew.
Killing spree. Gain the lead.
I don't have any ammo. I don't have any ammo at all. I have nothing. Oh my gosh. Man, that lag really did do him in, didn't it? Ah. I have no idea how that was even legal. I have no idea how that was even legal. We both tried. 20 years later, Xbox still lets you play CDs. Of course they do. Of course they do. Can you play CDs on other consoles? I don't even know, honestly. Shit. That's one of those things. I can't remember the last time that I played a CD within my home. I know that I play CDs throughout the week whenever I forget my phone at home or whenever I forget to pick up an aux cable or something. Or if I'm at a red light and it turns green too fast and I don't have time to plug in an aux, that's whenever I use the, that's whenever I break out the old DVD. Oh. You can't on PS4, interesting. Yeah, I remember the PS3 CD player. That's actually really funny you bring that up. One of my first PlayStation memories was whenever I went to a family reunion in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. My sort of cousin, he's like a family friend who we consider to be a cousin, but they're basically part of the family. He had just gotten a PlayStation 3, and this is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare had just dropped. And I had never played a Call of Duty game before. My mom was very conservative about that kind of gaming experience. She wanted me to be, you know, she was the ESRB mom. She was very, very hesitant to let me play any kind of anything that wasn't exclusively for children. And so, of course, as it goes, family reunion, a lot of drinking, a lot of kids just running around doing their thing. He had brought his PlayStation 3, and on it was a whole bunch of Boston, a lot of Boston songs that he had burned from a CD or MP3s that he had downloaded. And it was just amazing to not only get that kind of gaming experience, but that was like a formative music experience. So like all of that to say, being able to play CDs and download MP3s on a system is very important. I think the modern equivalent of that today is to be able to have the Spotify app, to be able to just have an application that's ready to go, ready and waiting for you. I'm a really good shot. I'm a great shot. I'm so good at Halo. Ah. Jesus. I think that's another thing that I like about console gaming versus PC gaming. And again, nothing against PC gaming at all. But whenever the new consoles were getting ready to drop, I don't know how much attention you were paying to it, but whenever the pre-orders were opening up, obviously, you know, you've got PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X within a couple of weeks of each other. You had the RTX 3080 cards that were dropping at the same time. And so that's kind of the next generation experience. You know, you're looking for how you are going to experience these games. What do you want to play it on? And I was trying to pick between a new graphics card for my PC or a new console, whichever one that would be. And as somebody who loved their Xbox One X, I was obviously leaning towards that to begin with. But I was also wanting a very powerful PC because I do a lot of video editing. So when it came time to consider it, the biggest factor for me in choosing a console over a PC was the ability for me to share that experience with other people. So now, you know, I'm in a relationship, my girlfriend comes over, she spends the night for a couple of nights in a row. She's been playing Monster Hunter World, she's been playing a lot of Fable 2, she's been playing these experiences on my Xbox, and had I just gotten a PC, she probably wouldn't have been able to do that. I showed my dad Forza for the first time last winter. And I think that's the kind of thing that I love about consoles, and that's the kind of thing that I love about Xbox, is that Game Pass gives something for everyone, and it's very easy to pick it up and play it no matter where you are. But, you know, from that story of me being a kid in Gatlinburg all the way to where I am today, I feel like now that kind of passion is still there. Shit. Anarchy Reigns. What is Anarchy Reigns? What is that? Anarchy Reigns. This is from Sega, July 5th, 2012. Anarchy Reigns, known in Japan as Max Anarchy, is an open-world beat-em-up video game developed by Platinum Games, published by Sega, produced by Atsushi Inaba, and directed by Masaki Yamanaka. Oh, it's a Platinum Games title. Nice. Oh, I love a good hack and slash. I adore a good hack and slash. I would definitely be interested in seeing more from this. They still have a landing page up for it. That's crazy. I know they have that Platinum Games collection. Whoops, my bad. They have that Platinum Games collection that does feature some. Let's see if I can do this. Nice. They have a Platinum Games collection that features. Shit, hold on. I have hotkeys on there. We'll talk about it in a minute. But they have the Platinum Games collection that does Bayonetta. They have Vanquish as well, bundled into each other, and it's kind of, in a way, sort of, kind of a remaster, I think. It's a bit of an upgrade. Nothing crazy, though. The game is very obscure, but it's one that, I don't know, it sounds interesting. I trust Platinum Games. I know what I'm getting, you know? I'm cool with that. Love how that guy just jumped off a cliff. Alright. I can rock with it. It's even online still. I was thinking about that yesterday with, I know that not everybody watches Twitch, but there is a, JP is a streamer on Twitch, and he has been doing a like a summer of FPS kind of thing. FPS Fest, I think is what he's calling it. But a couple of days ago, he was playing Battlefield 3, and it's crazy to me that even a game like that still has servers that are online. I feel like that's becoming more and more rare to actually have that kind of support. Ooh, give me that beam rifle, thank you. But it's very unfortunate because it's so important to keep these games rocking. They have been big with Nintendo. Astral Chain was a very successful game in terms of sales, and I also watched a good bit of that. Damn, Astral Chain looked very good. If I ever end up picking up a Nintendo Switch, you had better believe I will absolutely be picking up some Astral Chain with it. I hate the Needler. I really do loathe it. It's a horrible weapon. Ah, he was behind me. I just love the hack and slash action that that company brings in a lot of their titles. Obviously, not everyone can be as great, but I feel like Vanquish did a really great job of blending together a shooter with that kind of experience that people expect from Platinum games. And I think that's difficult to nail sometimes. Ah, dang. Ooh. I'm just worried about the overall timeline for a lot of new projects that could be coming from people like Platinum Games, because I think we're going to be seeing the effects of COVID on the industry a lot more over the next few years. Like, it's not over by any stretch of the imagination in terms of the impact that COVID will have had on development cycles across the board. Ah, what? Oh, what? I'm out of ammo. I used to get my original Xbox bundled with 2 games and a bonus 3rd game, a demo for a 4th game. Oh, Jet Set Radio. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been wanting some Jet Set Radio. I think there is I want to say a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio that's on the way, or that has been announced, something along those lines. I know that I think I saw Danny Pena talking about it on Twitter, or something in that regard, but it's it captures the essence that original game brought. Where was he sniping from? I'm sorry. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, that's exactly what I was thinking about. And I mean, the way this industry is rocking right now, nothing is off the table, because I think that with a lot of money comes a lot of creative ability. You know, more people can try more new ideas than ever before in recent memory. And even if it is something as crazy as a reboot of a Jet Set Radio, I don't think that it's necessarily out of the realm of reason. I think you see that kind of thing with what the Walmart ad had whenever the Xbox Series X was launching. You know, it's all about the legacy of Xbox at this point and where the players are in their lives, because now you have somebody who maybe they got the original Xbox on launch day whenever they were, you know, let's say 8 years old, and then they got an Xbox 360 whenever they were in their late teens. Then they got an Xbox One when they were 22, 23, something along those lines. Then you see the Xbox Series X come along. Let's say now they're getting, you know, 30, 32 maybe. They've got a lot of adult responsibilities, but they still like to play from time to time, and they have something for their kids to play as well. That's whenever you can really start to see that nostalgia factor kick in and say, I want a Jet Set Radio. I want to be able to have that kind of experience, and I want my kids to have that kind of experience. That's where you see a lot of potential. Ooh. I do remember Scalebound. A lot of people want Scalebound to come back. I just don't know if they really need to bring it back. a lot of people want Scalebound back. I mean, personally, that was still... I think that Scalebound was moving in the right direction, and I think that it could be successful if it were to be brought back, but I think the issue is that now Microsoft has moved in such a different direction that it would be like another Grounded, because right now Grounded is not necessarily the redheaded stepchild that Xbox is presenting, but it certainly is not a game that they want to bring to the forefront and that they want to say this is what the Xbox brand has to offer. I think that Scalebound would be very similar in that it would cater very well to that specific audience, but I don't think that it would be one of the games that people really flock to Xbox for. It just doesn't fit into their plan right now, and I think that's probably why Microsoft pulled the funding for that one. That's what I think. A possible total sequel of Jet Set Radio could be developed. If we're getting a Psychonauts 2, you know, anything's fair game at this point. Because Psychonauts 2, that's a game that I, you know, didn't necessarily think that would ever come out, but we see that coming out this summer.
Slayer.
And it's one of the big games this year. Oh, come on. Thought that I had that. Turn that down just a bit. The hum in this level always gets me. Oh, I tried so hard. But Scalebound had a lot of good ideas. You know, the gameplay looked fine. It wasn't necessarily something that I would be head over heels for on day one, but it was definitely a cool idea. And that's what I'm always looking for in the gaming industry, is a lot of cool ideas. I think that it's difficult to take risks sometimes. That's why you see so many remakes and remasters, is because you know that it's going to work really well. But I like the risk. That's why I haven't played it, and I will probably not pick it up until there's a bit of a discount on it, because, you know, I'm just a regular average dude. I work hard for my money, and I don't want to blow it on games that aren't proven to be, you know, at least interesting and something that is a solid experience. But I would love to play Biomutant, and I want to support the devs for Biomutant, because that game took risks, and did they pay off? Yet to be seen. I think it's just that people have very... not unreasonable expectations, but high expectations. And whenever you have high expectations, you know, there's a risk that these games that take risks won't be well received by the public. And I think that's where you see a lot of games like Biomutant kind of falling to the wayside, because they don't necessarily fit into what people would consider to be, you know, the game that they want to pay $60 for, and in the future $70 for. But the risks are what bring innovation. That's such a major part of that. How did I not get a kill? Ooh. Oh my gosh. I was trying so hard for that. But the risks are what make this industry so exciting, because you never know what could be the next big game. I mean, you know, I think back to Sunset Overdrive with Insomniac, where whenever they pitch that, you know, completely different than what they have built before, completely different than any other project that has come from Insomniac before that. But it was something that was so interesting that we're still talking about it today. And that was worth more than any kind of sales, I think, personally. But it's hard to sell mindshare in a boardroom. Like, it's much easier to sell the idea of selling a remaster that a lot of people loved and fell in love with. but it's not too easy to sell something that people could play and that they could fall in love with. Ah, damn. If they added Biomutant to Game Pass at E3, it would automatically shoot up to be one of the most popular games on the service on that specific week. Because a lot of people want to try it. I want to try it. And I think of it like I'm thinking about Mech Warriors 5 right now, where I played Mech Warriors 5 for a total of about 20 minutes, and I knew immediately that between the control scheme and the level of interest that I had in the game, it just was not one that was for me. And that's okay, because not every game is going to be for me, but I was still able to play it, and I was still able to give it a shot. And I wouldn't have bought Mech Warrior 5 otherwise, and I still wouldn't buy it today, but I got to play it, and who knows, I could have fallen in love with it. Another fantastic example of that from me recently is MLB The Show, because MLB The Show is not a game that I would ever, under any circumstances, pick up. But because it was on Game Pass, which is a very significant deal, I went ahead, picked it up, I downloaded it, I spent some time with it, and I had a really good time. Now, I'm not going to build my player and customize my stats and all of that, but it's very nice to be able to play a game that I was excited about to begin with, but that I might not necessarily have bought. I think that's a really big benefit of Game Pass. Ridge Racer 6 is not backwards compatible. Is Ridge Racer 6, did it come out on Xbox as well? Like, did Ridge Racer in general come out on Xbox? Because I remember I directly associated Ridge Racer with PlayStation. Yeah, Ridge Racer 6, Xbox 360, 2005. Came out on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, so it's not PlayStation exclusive. For some reason, I always associated Ridge Racer with Xbox or with PS3 and PlayStation. Yeah, I think that an issue that a lot of those racing games run into is when it comes to music licensing. You see a lot of issues with getting the rights to use these songs from the early 2000s or 90s or 80s. That's what happened with Forza Horizon 3, where even though it was one of the flagship games of the Xbox One's life, it still had to be taken down from the store because of the fact that it had licensed music in it that's just not available anymore, that the license has expired. So that's super unfortunate, because I would love to go back after playing Forza Horizon 4 and replay Forza Horizon 3 to see how far the team had come, because I want more Forza Horizon as soon as humanly possible. I want old Forza, I want new Forza, whatever you've got, give it to me. Okay, cool. See, like I'm not familiar with Ridge Racer, so it's nice to know these things. That's weird then, that it's not backward compatible, unless there's some kind of technical limitation. I know that Jason Ronald, the one of the, I think he's an Xbox architect. I don't want to misspeak there, but he's somebody who is heavily focused on making the backward compatibility stuff possible. And some games just aren't able to be brought forward. It's just not in the cards for some of them because of the way they're built in the code. It's almost like whenever you have a different kind of frame rate in a video editing file, where if you edit on a 30 frames per second timeline with 60 frames per second video stuff super fast, it's that kind of stuff. So sometimes there is just a straight technical limitation that unfortunately holds back some games that would otherwise be very successful in the world of backward compatibility. It's just nice to see Microsoft focusing on backward compatibility as a major part of their strategy, because I'm somebody who loves game preservation, and while it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, it's nice to have a company that at least focuses on continuing to provide support for, and the fact that I can just put an Xbox 360 disc into a machine. Ooh. Yeah, it's just so weird to see these random games, you know? And there's, obviously this is one that's been talked about recently, but Fusion Frenzy which is now available on Xbox via cloud gaming as well. To have Fusion Frenzy and not a game like Ridge Racer, which I personally think Ridge Racer might have more of a public appeal. And that's just my 2 cents on that one, but like you said, just a lot of strange inconsistencies there. But the fact that it's possible was a miracle just a few years ago, so. Where was he even at? Did he have stealth on? What was that? What amazes me is the stuff like FPS boost, where you can artificially increase the frame rate of games up to 120 FPS. That's so important. Because not only does Xbox allow you to, play your older games, you get the best experience possible from them. And in some cases, it's the equivalent of a PC port of the game. Ah. I just wish there was some way and maybe going forward they could bake this into their strategy, but, looking forward to your 2025s, your 2026s, and this is not an issue as of yet, but whenever the music licenses for Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 5, assuming that's what it will be called, expire, for the sake of preservation, don't take those off of the store. I think it's very important to leave those on and to do your homework and make sure that those can be saved. Give me some kind of weapon. What? Nice. Yeah, it's just weird. And it might be something, with Sega. I think that, or is it Bandai Namco? I think you said Bandai Namco before, but that could be a publisher issue where they might have plans for the IP, and they they want to keep it locked down and they don't want to muddy the public impression of Ridge Racer or anything like that. It's just weird to me because if I was in charge, I'd want as many people as possible to be playing games that are already out there that literally take no effort from me to get on the store. Like, if somebody has the opportunity to play my game, I want people to be playing it. It's kind of like what happened with... it would be like if Ubisoft had just completely abandoned Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4... versus having them brought on as backwards compatible titles, where I would much rather have people that are still learning more about the world of Far Cry and still experiencing past Far Cry games versus just having people that have left the franchise, out there to die. I feel like there's a lot more that can be done by having a franchise available. And Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Yeah. But I feel like Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is a pretty big one, though. Not to say that Ridge Racer wasn't. I gotta change those hotkeys. I did not mean to go full screen, but now you get to see all of me, so, congratulations on that one. Just kidding. I'm so sorry. Yeah, see, it's got 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 stars. Pretty good reviews here. I don't think it shows me how many sales it had. Development, release, reception, retail editions, marketing, downloadable content. Let's see if I can find sales. Reached number 2 in the UK sales chart. The game had sold 1.5 million copies worldwide by March 13th after having released in in January. Does it look like January? Or was it released before that? October 9th, 2012. So about 6 months or so. Sold 1.5 million copies. Not bad. Not bad. I'm really interested to see what Sony is doing with Virtua Fighter. I know that's a free game on the PlayStation 4 for the month of March. But I definitely want to learn more about what that looks like. Because I love some Virtua Fighter. It's really interesting to me to see too. I don't know if you've noticed as well, but on the Twitch streams and YouTube streams on the weekends, on the PlayStation and Xbox channels, there's always some kind of that was horrible. There's always some kind of a video game tournament, whether it's Mortal Kombat or any other kind of fighting game. It seems like there's always some kind of tournament on the weekend. And I'm not sure what the deal is with those. I guess maybe it's just for content, but... Yeah, definitely glad it finally came to PS4. That was one of those games that was definitive of my early PlayStation 3 memories. I specifically remember there was a demo kiosk in a Walmart, if I remember correctly. And Virtua Fighter 5 was up on it on the PlayStation 3, and I played it for probably a couple of hours. My mom was definitely ready to leave the Walmart at that point. But it's cool to see that kind of experience coming back. Ah, dang. Yeah. So you've been playing Tekken Tag Tournament 2? Or Virtua Fighter 5? Because if you've been playing Virtua Fighter 5, I had no idea that was still active. Damn, okay, that's neat. That's crazy. Yeah, I used to have, I think I had the demo and then I finally got the game, but it was one that I didn't get until very late in the game. I got it way later in its life. But I was never great at fighting games. I'm still not today. It was just a good fighting game. I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. That was another great fighting game. Really enjoyed that one. Minecraft 2 exclusively for PC and Xbox. Do they win this generation? I don't know if they win this generation. I think that would be a major success for them in terms of sales. I don't think that Minecraft would ever go to an Xbox and PC exclusive because of the number one, the player base is everywhere, and that's a game that it's so much bigger than a Halo and it's so much bigger than an Elder Scrolls. But on top of that, it's also very significant for the worlds of education and stuff like that. The value of Minecraft goes so far beyond just gaming. It would definitely be a big, win in terms of console wars if you're into that kind of discussion. But I certainly don't think that's a move they will make. And I don't even know if we need a Minecraft 2. I think that between the RTX updates and stuff that you're seeing, I don't know if we really need one. Not to say that it won't happen. Ah, oh shit, oh. Yeah, I doubt that they'll release a whole new Minecraft because they don't really have to, you know? Like the Minecraft they have today is still continuing to sell incredibly well. It still gets updates. There's still plenty of summer events that are going on. There was the Minecraft Championship that I didn't even know was a thing until yesterday. And so whenever you have that kind of stuff happening, that's whenever you start to see... Ooh, man, he ate it on that one. That's when you start to see even more attention brought to Minecraft. I was talking to my coworker about this last week, but I had no idea that Minecraft was still so popular until just a couple of months back. Because it's just not in my wheelhouse. It's not something that I'm really interested in learning more about, and it's not something that I play. But there's so many people that are, number one, creating content around Minecraft. Like Tommy, he's a streamer on Twitch, and also a YouTuber, obviously. But there's just so much going on with Minecraft that I had no idea was even a factor. So with so much hype still around it, I mean, it makes sense for them to make a new Battlefield because there's no discussion being had around a Battlefield. No one is still really focused entirely on Battlefield 5. That's a game that has effectively come and gone in a way. Oop, 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 yoink. Now, there are still dedicated core fan bases. I don't want to make it sound like these are dead games. Because there are still plenty of people that I am sure have been playing Battlefield 3, for instance, every day for, you know, close to a decade now. A decade now. Didn't it come out in 2011? But in the same breath, there's a lot of people that moved on shortly after launch. So you've got to get those people back in there with a new game for the franchise. Thought that was an enemy. I was about to slash that boy. But at E3, I definitely don't think you'll see a Minecraft 2. I certainly think that you might see something Minecraft-centric announced. I know Minecraft Dungeons continues to do very well, so that's an exciting opportunity for them to get in there and do something new. Yeah, there's tons of nostalgia for Battlefield 3, and it's one that I continue to go back to because now it's on Game Pass and it's on Xbox backward compatibility. So with the ability to go back and re-experience these games and to, you know, get that feeling back that I had whenever I was playing them in high school for, you know, hours and hours and hours over the summer, it might not be exactly the same, but it's still very, you know, very satisfying. Oh, I'm sure that there have been, you know, talks of the sequel just for the cash, for sure. That's what the bigwigs would want, you know. That's what the money bags would want. But I just don't think that you'll ever see a Minecraft 2 in the way that we think a Minecraft 2 would go. Definitely possible though. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility. It just feels like more of a platform now than anything. I see Minecraft in the same way that a lot of people see Roblox, where I didn't even know it existed. You know, Roblox wasn't even on my radar, but it's one of the highest earning gaming experiences of 2020. But it's not really a game, it's more so a platform. And whenever you have an experience like that, you should really keep it going, because in the same way that every 2 years you're not going to see a new Xbox, you're not going to be seeing a new Minecraft or a new Roblox or anything like that. But with that being said, I'm going to round out today's stream. I wanted to, number one, test out the graphics card because I got the new AverMedia card in today. I want to make sure that it's working well. Looks like it holds up over time. Did buy it used. I did buy it used, so we're looking good there. But hey, for those that are hanging out in the chat, Merc, Wesley, I know Alan and Roy were in here earlier, and I've seen some other people coming in through the chat. I appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me tonight, play some good Halo. I'm looking forward to making more videos in the future and hosting more live streams both here and probably on Twitch as well. But it was great talking to you guys too. You know, it's always good to be able to hang out, chew the fat, talk Xbox, get excited about E3. Super exciting to really dial in and get talking with you guys and to just, you know, get excited. It's a very exciting time. You know, we have new console generation, we have new games that are coming out, new franchises that are being built. Far Cry. Can't wait for Far Cry. But yeah, a lot to be excited about, and I will look forward to talking more about it with you all. Have a great rest of your night. I appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy your Memorial Day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out.